All right. I know there's lots of excitement in the room. I know you've gotten your schedules, and it's been a big day of learning all about kind of what to expect as you transition here to the University of St. Thomas. My name is Erica Thompson. I'm one of the Associate Directors in Residence Life here at the University of St. Thomas. And I'm going to cover some things that you can expect from myself and my team here as you live on campus and transition into our residence halls, and some things, hopefully answer some questions for you as well. So we'll get started. One of the most important people on our team in residence life for all of you students that are going to be joining us here on campus is your resident advisor. We call them RAs. This is an upper division student who lives in your community, usually on your floor with you. And this is someone who is really going to be a fantastic resource for you. They're going to work with us to do some learning with you as well, through some one-on-one conversations, through roommate conversations and mediations, through community meetings and different events that they put on. Again, they're really going to be a really fabulous resource for you. Whatever question you have, they can either probably answer it or at least point you in the direction of the appropriate office on campus or the person who can best answer your question. Again, they're a peer educator, so they're someone who's going to help you learn through some of these things in your first year here, and they're going to mediate things that are happening with your roommate or suite mates or other things that are happening in your community. They're a first stop really for you all as students, and they're going to help to hold us to some accountability to our community standards. It means policies, the things that are in our resident handbook, things like that. Also in your residence halls will be either an area director or a hall director. Our area directors are full-time professional staff members, and they are typically in our larger residence halls. We also have hall directors that are graduate students, and these are the folks who supervise our resident advisors. And they really kind of manage everything that's happening in the hall. Parents and family members, this is a great person for you to get in touch with if you have concerns about your student. But we always want you to bring your student with you, or make sure that they're included in that conversation. So maybe if something's not been resolved in a way that you had hoped, or you just have additional questions, the area hall director is a great person to manage that, or go to with those questions. They're also going to manage the student conduct that's happening in their community. And so, as I mentioned, the RAs are going to help hold students accountable to those community standards and that behavior. The hall and area director is the person that you might meet with if you have not sort of lived up to those community standards. We also have a lot of folks in our central office, myself included, who help kind of run things behind the scenes. I supervise the area and hall directors. We also have folks who have managed all the housing assignments, which you got earlier this week. Yay. Maybe. Y'all are very quiet. But mostly the folks that you will engage with are your RAs and your area and hall directors. There are some things I want you to make sure that you know about really the transition to life on campus and living in our communities. There are some things that are going to be really different for you from high school or from the current situation that you're in, but there are some things that are going to be the same. One of which is the more engaged you are, the more connected you're going to feel. And we really want you to feel connected to the community in your residence hall and on your floor, and of course, all the way across campus here at the University of St. Thomas. There are lots of different ways to do that, and it will look a little different for everyone, but having an open door, engaging in conversations with your roommate and other people on your floor, and really just going to stuff. If you go to the events and the things that your RA tells you about, you're going to meet more people and you're going to feel more connected. We really want you to participate. There's a reason we're doing all of this stuff and having all of these events, and so that it's so that you can learn and engage with St. Thomas, and really just try new things. We'll have a whole series of events called residential connection events, and the sole purpose of those is for you to meet other people and really just have fun and connect with others. You probably also heard already today about STAR and DAB, and they put on really great events on campus as well. The Tommy Advantage events are those things where we're going to bring you some learning, some things outside of the classroom where we want to help you kind of for those next steps, or it might be learning how to work through something with your roommate. But those are all part of our Tommy Advantage and the learning that we're going to implement outside of the classroom. There's tons of opportunities to get involved. You probably heard from Campus Life earlier today. We also have what we call hall associations, which is an opportunity to get involved in your residence hall. We have some student jobs available as well through desk and night access. That's all on campus, happens in the residence halls. It's another great way to kind of get involved and meet people. One of the things that we know can be a challenge for students in living in the residence halls is living with a roommate. Lots of students have not ever had to share a bedroom with someone. And so that's one of the things that we focus on in terms of your learning within the first few weeks here is figuring out how to do that. So we've got some processes set up to help you kind of talk through that and learn some of the skills that you'll need to really negotiate that process. And we know that it can be a challenge. And again, your RA and your area and hall director are here to help you through that and help you learn how to do that because we know that it will be new. We also really want you to figure out how to live in community. So for a lot of you, you'll be sharing a bathroom with lots of other people and really living with a lot more folks than you probably do in your current family or living situation. That requires learning how to set boundaries, learning how to ask for what you need, compromising on some things, when to stay quiet, when to speak up. And those are all things that we will help you learn through while you're here and learning in community with us. We really want you to be an active member of your community. Again, like I mentioned before, there will be all kinds of events for you that we really want you to take advantage of. This learning is going to happen all around you. And the more you participate, again, the more connected you'll feel and also the more that you will learn. That building relationships piece, there are lots of different circles that you might become a part of here while you're at St. Thomas. And no matter what circle you're coming into St. Thomas with, know that in the first day and in the first week, those circles are all going to change just a little bit and look a little different. You're going to meet new folks. There might be folks that you're in clubs with, folks that you're in class with, folks you know from your residence hall. Those are all going to be new circles to kind of get to know yourself. And you're going to want those different circles as you progress through your first year here and learn what it looks like to be a part of life at St. Thomas. We really want you to really, again, take advantage of all of those opportunities. Your RA and your area and hall director, again, are those really fantastic resources. And don't wait until it's too late to ask for help from them. Each year we have someone who comes to us and who just really wants to move out right now because things have piled up and they haven't addressed it yet. And so we want to help you learn how to handle that when it's down here and not when it's way up here and you just can't handle it anymore. So don't wait to come and talk to us. Students, you'll get a little bit more insight into what we call our personal safety plan here at the University of St. Thomas in your very first community meeting when you're here during welcome days. But parents and families, I want to let you know that we will talk with your students about what that looks like and how to navigate that here, but that it's a little different than high school, for example. We have alerts that you can sign up to be a part of here. We expect you to follow the instructions of those alerts, run, hide, fight when that's necessary or when you're in danger. But it's also really important that you know where the emergency exits are, where you should go in case of emergent weather, like a tornado or a severe thunderstorm or a fire, and where you would go. Do you live nearby and have an opportunity where you could go home if there's something happening on campus, or do you need to make alternate arrangements? And again, it's a little different than high school. There's not just one building that you'll be in all day. You could be in several different classroom buildings. You could be in your residence hall. You could be here in the Anderson Student Center. And really, you need to know what's going to work best for you and what you'll need to do in the case of an emergency. And so Again, we'll cover that more in our community meeting, but parents and family members want you to know too that that's something that we'll be covering and something that you can ask about as your student is navigating their first couple of days here. We sent out housing assignments earlier this week, so you should have gotten an email about how to access that in Murphy Online. It includes your roommate's information, their phone number, and their email address. We know that there are lots of different ways that you can connect with those potential roommates, one of which is looking them up on social media. I'm guessing maybe some of you have done that already. Maybe. Man, y'all are quiet. One of the things that we recommend, and the reason that we give you their phone number and their email address, is so that you can actually connect with them and not just go check out everything on their profile. One of the things we also know is that how someone shows up on social media isn't necessarily their whole person. And so if you have a concern, and you're calling us about it, know that we're going to ask if you've actually connected with that person, and that it's beyond, well, I saw that they posted this on Instagram, before we make any changes. You should have gotten a packet in mid-May with a whole bunch of things that you should make sure you bring with you and a whole bunch of stuff that you need to leave at home. We're really concerned in terms of the stuff to leave at home about things that are fire and safety hazards in our hall. So make sure you review that list as you start your shopping. And we really encourage you too to utilize our vendors. We work with a group of folks called bedloft.com. And they will bring both microfridges and futons and have them set up in the room for you when you get here. So you don't have to go to the store, buy something, try and figure out how to get it in your car, unload it when you get home, load it back in when you're on your way here, unload it from your car, and maybe take it up 7 floors once you arrive here. See lots of folks struggle with that. Bedloft.com is a great opportunity to have it ready and waiting for you in the room and already taken care of. So if you're thinking, man, I don't really want to carry a fridge around, bedloft.com is a really excellent alternative to that. We are working on our next set of communication for you all, which is all about your arrival here to campus. Several folks will be eligible for early arrivals starting August 26th. So folks who live out of state and their roommates, as well as other folks on the list here, varsity athletes, cheer and dance, folks who are coming for the Fall Leadership Institute. And we'll get that communication out to you no later than the week of August 5th through 9th. Our goal is to actually get it out to you earlier than that, but we are waiting on some of our colleagues to make sure that they get us lists and names and things like that, which are due to us on August 1st. So we'll try and get that out to you as soon as possible. For folks who are not going to be here for early arrivals, we will be having you join us on August 30th. That's a Friday. In that August mailing, you will get information on what time you should arrive. That'll all be organized by last name, and you'll get a specific time. There are a few things to know about coming to campus on that day and helping us get you moved in effectively and with as little frustration as possible. We don't allow U-Hauls or trailers or really huge vehicles on campus on that day. They just don't fit in the spaces where we need them to park, and so make sure you leave those at home. We really encourage you to put everything in something, so put it in a container with a lid, put it in a suitcase with wheels. Bringing a dolly or things that you can move on your own is going to really help you through that process. We encourage you to label things with your name and room number, so if for some reason it gets separated from you, we know how to get it to the right person. And we need everyone here and moved in by 5 p.m. so that we can jumpstart and get you into welcome days and all of the fun things that we have planned for you over that time. So those are my main points. We do have some time for questions here, and so I'm going to take this off. So what else are you hoping to learn here as we finish up the day? Yeah, so the question is, do we have carts available for move-in? The answer is yes, but you might have to wait in line for one of those. So the more things that you can bring that you can take in yourself, the less waiting you'll likely have to do. What other questions can I answer? Go ahead. Yeah. Shh. If you could be quiet, please, that would be awesome. Thank you. So the question is about whether beds are lofted or whether you can loft beds. We will loft all of the beds in traditional halls. So when you get here, it will already be lofted. If you'd like to have it de-lofted, we'll work with you on that. But as a standard across all of our traditional halls, beds will be lofted when you arrive. Yeah. So the question is, if you're bringing your own futon, what the dimensions need to be. Most students want the futon to be able to fit under the bed. I don't have those dimensions off the top of my head. I know they are on our website, and I can look them up if you want to stop up here afterwards. I'm so sorry, I don't have that memorized. What else? So the question is there an opportunity to look at the residence halls today? Unfortunately, due to conference guests, we're not doing any tours today. All of the dimensions, and there's all kinds of photos and things like that online. All right, I know it's the end of the day and folks are probably anxious to get home and get on to the next thing. I'll stick around up here if you have any additional questions. I'm happy to connect with you.